My mom and I stood there with our jaws dropped. There was my older sister Janine, wrapped up in my stepfather's arms. Their faces were stuck together. Ew! What the? How long has this been going on? My sister and stepdad jumped.
Honey, I thought you weren't getting back until tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, well, we took an earlier flight. Janine, what's going on here? How could my own daughter do this to me? How long has this been going on? At this point, I ran up to my room because I hate drama. I had no idea this was just the beginning of the craziest part of my life. It kept getting more and more outrageous, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out how. My mom thought she'd hit the jackpot when she met my stepdad. I was about 5 years old when she split up with my real dad, and she was really sad at first, but when she met Roger at a party and they started dating, she became the happiest woman alive. Roger owned an investment firm and a few other businesses. He was filthy rich, and before we knew it, my mom, Janine, and I were living in his mansion. Janine was already 18, but she wasn't about that college life. She just wanted to live like a rich man's daughter for a while. So I grew up rich. Until that week after my 10th birthday. My mom and I had just returned from Disneyland to find Roger and Janine wrapped up in each other's arms. My mom divorced Roger almost immediately, and she still doesn't talk to Janine. I think they live together now, but I'm not sure. My mom and I had to move to a little house in rural Alabama because that was all she owned. Mom, what is this place? It's home now. There's only one room. Where am I supposed to sleep? There's a couch and a bed. Pick one. This was awful. My whole world turned upside down. Imagine living like a princess and suddenly you're stuck in a tiny house and all of your new classmates are teasing you because you're the poorest in town now. My mom had to take 2 jobs to make ends meet. In the morning, she worked at a nursing home, and at night she worked at a diner. Dinner was usually leftovers from the diner because she didn't make much. We could only afford unhealthy foods. I ate fast food almost every day, and I think I became addicted. And sometimes I simply ate when I felt sad or stressed. By the time I was 15, I weighed almost 200 pounds. I didn't care though, because I knew I was awesome regardless of my weight. But one day my mom walked into the living room while I was sitting on the couch eating my second bag of Doritos, and she gasped. "This is getting out of hand, Tammy." "What, Mom? You're massive. I'm signing you up for fat camp right now." "I'm not fat. I'm fabulous." She rolled her eyes and walked away. But 2 days later, she told me that she had signed me up for some virtual fat camp. I'd have to exercise 2 hours a day, and she'd watch me to make sure I did it. I wanted to cry because there's nothing I hate more than exercise. During the first class, I fell flat on the living room floor after my first push-up. "Get up!" "No, Mom, I don't want to do this." The same thing happened the next day, so my mom decided she'd have to try a new strategy. "You're not getting anything to eat unless you complete your full 2 hours of exercise." "What? You can go to prison for that, Mom." "Oh yeah? Well, report me then. And what do you think will happen to you?" I sighed. I guess she'd won. And this is where it got crazy. After about 10 minutes of exercise, I began to sweat. It was a really gross sensation because I simply wasn't used to that. I rarely ever sweated because I avoided any kind of physical activity. Then, as I continued working out, the drops of sweat fell onto the floor, but instead of dissolving into the carpet, they hardened. Before I knew it, there were many drops of hardened sweat on the floor. "Mom, is that supposed to happen?" "What? Look." I showed her the drops of sweat and picked one up. "No, that is definitely odd. But look at it. It sparkles like a diamond. I'll get this tested tomorrow. Keep moving. You've only done 1 hour." I continued exercising, and when I was done, she collected all the sweat particles and went to her second job. After school the next day, she seemed more excited than usual. "Tammy, they're real diamonds!" "That makes no sense, Mom. How can a person sweat diamonds?" "I don't know. I already sold the ones you dropped yesterday. If we keep this up for another week, we can move out of this stupid town and start a new life somewhere else." I felt like I was dreaming. But how ridiculous is life sometimes? The only thing I hated doing was our key out of this horrible small town. The next day, my mom quit her 2 jobs and pulled me out of school. When I got home, there was a new treadmill and stationary bike in the living room. This is school now. You'll have to exercise all day. Mom, no! Okay, fine. I let you take breaks sometimes. For about 3 weeks, I did nothing but eat, sleep, and exercise. And I continued to sweat diamonds each time. It was surreal, but our life was about to change. Big time. After a month, my mom sold our tiny house and we flew to New Hampshire. After a few days of searching for the perfect house, we found one which overlooked the ocean. It was even better than the house we shared with Roger. At this point, my mom gave me a break for a while. We picked my new school, a posh private school for rich kids, and we got to know our neighborhood a bit. On my first day of school, my mom woke me up at 4 in the morning. What? Why do I need to be up so early? My school is like 10 minutes away. I've got something exciting to show you. She took me to a room downstairs, which was apparently our new in-house gym. It had every single piece of gym equipment imaginable, and they were all for me. Great, huh? You're going to exercise 2 hours every morning and 2 hours every night. That way, we'll be able to maintain our lifestyle and we can ensure our future generations are rich too. Don't you want that for us? I don't even want kids, Mom. Can't you just allow me to be a regular teen? We have enough money saved up by now. No, we don't. I've spent it all already. Stop talking and get to work. I hated this. But do you know what? Remember how I told you I was a really chubby kid because I ate everything in sight? All this exercise had transformed me into a total hottie. So a few years later, after I started high school, I was a total boy magnet. I belonged to a clique of girls who were quite popular too. So apart from the excessive exercise, I was happy. Eventually, I met the guy of my dreams. His name was Xander, and he was just perfect in every way. His eyes always glistened whenever they spoke to me. He had the smoothest skin and the most perfect smile in the world. And don't get me started on his hair. But we couldn't hang out as much as I wanted us to because of my exercise schedule. I tried to be honest with him, but I omitted the diamonds part. But I guess the truth always comes out when you're serious about a person. It was during a heated argument.
Can't you just make time for me? Just one whole Saturday? We only ever hang out a few minutes a day.
I told you I have to work out.
You work out too much. You already look perfect. A little break won't kill you. I feel like you're hiding something from me.
Xander.
What? You're hiding something, aren't you? Is there another guy?
No, Xander. I sweat diamonds, and my mom forces me to work out.
My 3-year-old brother could have come up with a better excuse.
I'm serious. Look, run around the block with me.
What?
Follow me. I started running and he followed me, looking confused as hell. After a few minutes, I was sweating profusely. The drops fell onto the road and he saw it for himself. I bent down to pick up a diamond.
What the?
Let's go to a jeweler to get it evaluated. You'll see I'm not lying. Long story short, Xander realized that I wasn't lying. He took a while to recover from this crazy news, then he took me on a fancy date to apologize. After dessert, he looked deep into my eyes and said,
"Why don't we run away together?"
What?
This is our last year of high school. Instead of going to college, we can just run off together.
But how will we survive?
Hello?
He said while showing me the diamond he had kept in his pocket.
I know you don't enjoy what your mom is putting you through, and I don't think you're happy. She's just using you.
I know, but...
If you work out in secret, I could sell some of the diamonds and we could save enough to live a comfortable life away from your mom. I know you hate working out, but you'd only need to do it for a little while. Then we'd buy a house and start our own business, maybe in Asia or even the Caribbean.
You think you'd like to spend the rest of your life with me?
Of course, I will marry you someday. Well, if that's what you want.
I smiled. Yes, I'd like that very much. From that evening, I started working out secretly at Xander's house. He sold the diamonds and we opened a secret account in my name. When we had about $2 million saved, I wrote my mom a note. packed a small suitcase and drove off into the night with Xander. We've been traveling the world for now, but we pretend that we're poor backpackers. So far, we've been to Cambodia, India, Nigeria, St. Lucia, Greece, Paris, Australia, South Korea, and Thailand. We're trying to figure out our business ideas, and we're hoping that our travels will inspire us somehow. I still deposit money into my mother's bank account once in a while because I'm not a monster, and I don't want her to starve. She hasn't bothered to contact me, and I appreciate that. She probably has a lot of regrets. Anyway, now I only work out once or twice a week, and I love my life.